Hey guys, it's Drac, and this is a very exciting blaster that has just been released. This is, of course, the Nerf rival Khaos MXVI-4000. 4000 referring to the 40 high-impact rounds that its monstrous magazine holds, and I mean, it comes with those 40 rounds. It looks like they're dotting. The packaging on these has always been very slick. The blaster on the black with the combination of gloss and matte just looks really, really good. They're advertising a velocity of 100 feet per second or 30 miles an hour. The 30 miles an hour is designed to impress people. The 100 feet per second is actually the standard for these rival blasters. Now, we know that rival blasters hit hard. The Zeus hit hard, and the ammo is designed to do that and fly well. There's a little hop-up thing that makes them kind of work like airsoft almost. We have a trigger lock, which is wild, that this has a safety. We have a ambidextrous magazine release being advertised, an easy-to-load magazine, which you've seen before in my Toy Fair preview. Then we have the trigger and rev switch itself. It's got tack rails up top, which aren't quite Picatinny and aren't quite Nerf rails. They're somewhere in between. It says that it includes the blaster, the magazine, 40 rounds, and instructions. It's designed for back-to-back battle, and the only other thing worth noting here is that we've got the Atlas here and here. I'll bring you a full review of that when production models arrive at the workshop. So, let's unbox and load this guy. Guys, so the Khaos is huge, really designed to be like a spacey assault rifle. The magazine is huge. It's 4 separate 10-round magazines, all kind of combined into one really cool system where you slide these, whoops, all the way down and over. There's a little lock down there, and then after you've completed that, you can use this switch to slide them all up forward and engage them. But hey, that was pretty cool. Humans have 4 fingers, so do vampires. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Then there's a switch up here that opens this guy up. That is awesome. So the reason that it opens up like this is so that you can come in and load it. This is what they mean by a quick loading magazine. You can load it by kind of just dropping these into the top. Now I'm doing it sort of helter-skelter because I just want to get them loaded, but you could easily kind of align them front and do one first. But it's a very cool system. I was very surprised to learn that the magazines opened up this way. Now, I'm currently very disappointed. Oh no, we're losing our high impact rounds. They're rolling down the stairs. That's one disadvantage to this ammo as opposed to regular 50 cal darts, is that they do have a tendency to get away. But I was super excited to learn that this is how the magazines functioned at Toy Fair. I was very disappointed to learn that currently, as of right now and the making of this review, there is no way to get... I'm going to chase down this tiny dreamer. So this closes. It's an automatic latch there, you see, and then to get these up and chambered, you flip the switch. Everything engages and comes up. You could realistically probably fit an additional 4. You could turn these into 44 round magazines should you so choose, but you'd have to like hand load, so to speak, the blaster in order to accomplish that. Now my model has something rattling around in it. That's not good. Why does a production model have some piece that's loose floating around in here? That's a little bit disappointing, but this guy's going to get cracked open for its mod guide anyway. Let's find out where the batteries go. It looks like they're going up top, which is excellent. So the blaster is MSRPing for... Come on. There we go. So this slides back and then comes off, and then the tray comes out. This is a very complicated series of maneuvers, but it means that the battery tray is completely removable. Hooking up a LiPo to this is going to be very easy, which I will be doing in the mod guide, which will be linked below, of course. Now, the MSRP for this blaster, which is what I was trying to say, is $70 United States dollars. That makes this a very expensive flagship grade blaster, and you kind of have to decide if that's worth it for you, but I think of it as an $80 blaster, because if you're not going to do all of the crazy modifications, to use the batteries that you already have or don't have yet, you're going to need to buy D batteries. D batteries are really expensive, really heavy, and very often come in either 4 or 8 packs. So you have to buy the 8 pack to get the 6, and it can cost anywhere from $10 to $15 depending upon what kind you get. I know that they recommend Duracell batteries, but the only batteries that I had available to me at the time that I got this were Energizer. So brand new batteries are important for an honest review. Let's get this loaded down and over. So those are fully engaged, but an expensive blaster to be sure, which means that it has to be just awesome to make it worth using. So we can't rev because this is of course full of locks. The safety is clearly designed for right-handed users. That rattling is driving me crazy. The safety is designed for right-handed users. The magazine release is, in fact, as promised, ambi. So that is really, really cool. Getting this magazine is so large in here, it's kind of an exercise in finding where it goes. Does it gravity drop? Not really, but once it's in there, it is in there. You can hear that we are revving. That is super duper neat. Deco on the blaster looks good. It's of course a Nerf blaster, so the deco is going to be pretty good. We've got the kind of painted on sort of black, I don't even know what you call this. It's almost like a grungy, grimy kind of feel to make the blaster look more worn, as well as the Rival logo, which seems to be at a slight cant. And then we've got the Nerf Rival logo recessed into the blaster, as well as the name of the blaster. No Khaos written on this side, just MXVI-4000. On this side, we still don't see Khaos, but we have the same logo, the warnings and patents, than this, but less deco. Nerf's been doing a really weird thing recently where they'll deco one side completely, frequently the side that shows in the box, although this box was completely closed, and then they will not deco the other side. I don't know why that is. It's kind of upsetting, but there's nothing we can do about it. On this side, you can see that there's a jam door that allows us to see the flywheels, and here they won't rev with the jam door open, which is really sad. We might be able to fool it though if we rev and then open. You can see them spin down. They are the kind of serrated, definitely going to squish these balls to throw them through sort of flywheels. Up here you can see the hop up tab is directly down and in the barrel. Up front we've got some relatively non-functional pieces making this look cooler. The barrel has a very wide inner diameter to prevent the balls from bouncing around inside, which is also cool. The tactical rails have pop-up sights, which may or may not be functional. I have no idea. And then the neat thing about this is the way that this feeds is exactly like the Hyperfire. So you can see there's a conveyor belt up here moving through and around, and what that's going to do is it is powered by a gearbox which is going to move the balls in full auto fashion through this. And you can see that the way that the magazine's designed, as one ball comes forward, another one will pop up. That's pretty neat and is why this has such a powerful yet inconsistent rate of fire, because you never know which of these channels is going to be blocked off at the time that the magazine is trying to work its way up and in. But none of that matters. All of that is to say that I like the blaster. It looks cool. It's got interesting functionality and design, but it doesn't truly matter unless the blaster performs. So claiming FPSs of up to 100, we should be moving very fast, but these balls tend to have a drop-off point where they stop moving. So what do the ranges look like? Let's take a few shots. Those are pretty impressive ranges. That's an 85-foot shot flat, and it looks like it's not going to be wholly impossible to do select fire. Safety is functional, it just prevents you from pulling the rev switch, guys. But that was a single shot. Let's try and shoot 3 this time. We'll see how hard that is. It's not at all. The rate of fire is rather slow compared to something like the Hyperfire, so you can control it. But you'll see that the subsequent shots are dropping off a little bit. Also like the Hyperfire, where that first one hits very well, these are not, the follow-ups are not quite as fast. So those are pretty good shots though. The rate of fire is decent. For a full auto blaster, this is a ton of fun. And you can tell from the way that these are bouncing off that it is getting some pretty serious kind of initial velocities. Now, it looks like it's favoring the back end of the magazine more than the front end. That makes a lot of sense since the front is the hardest to push up when there are things in line. Loading this is kind of fickle. Getting that magazine in and out is a chore. Overall, I love this blaster. I think that it's cool. I think that it's the primary that the rival line needed. I think that its rate of fire is slightly slower than something like, say, a modified Zeus into a Hurricane, but I mean, that's a pretty complicated and involved modification that not a lot of people are doing. So this is an off-the-shelf, full-auto Khaos that you can use in a rival battle that doesn't have that weird chicken wing reload system. It is a magazine style reload. Even if the magazine is weird, even if it is proprietary, should you have a couple of the magazines, reloading would be much faster with this system, and you'd have to do it about a quarter as often because you are getting 40, potentially 44 rounds of capacity instead of 12. So, I mean, that's my review of the Nerf rival Khaos, and I think that it's sweet. It is an awesome primary coming out of the Nerf rival line, and it's doing a lot. Even though it costs realistically 80 United States dollars, this is a flagship that I can actually get behind. I might even try using this at Nominate against NIC blasters. Maybe you guys will think that's cool, maybe not. We'll find out. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to check out the modification guide, which will be in the description box below, and I hope you guys have an awesome and nerfy day. Drac out.